My 2025 New Year's Pulp Kitchen resolution was to consume significantly less popcorn this year. And I'm doing well.
Yeah, you are, actually.
Last night, nothing, nada. Didn't even look at it, didn't even open the bag.
I felt like your sponsor taking you out.
Yeah.
You know,
I really
you're in recovery.
Yeah. So I was like, would you like popcorn? I'm like, George, please.
Was that just because you knew we were going for a very nice meal afterwards?
That helped. That really, really helped. Because as we've said many times, the awkward 6:30, 7 o'clock start time of these screenings, which you don't want it to be any later, but you're often running from wherever you've been in that day straight to the screening. If you're lucky, you can pick up something to chew on right before you get in. But sometimes you're in a 2.5 hour film, starting 6:30, 6:45, 7 o'clock. You're getting out of there, 8:45, 9:15, 9:30.
You're hungry.
It's a nightmare. Then you end up getting unhealthy Five Guys burrito, whatever.
I also think that I don't enjoy the film if I'm really hungry. You know, I think to myself, I'm like, look,
your mind's somewhere else.
It's more like
stomach.
the film will be. I remember thinking this when we saw Twisters, right?
Yeah.
Look, and my opinion of Twisters would have been the same whether I'd eaten before or not eaten before.
George's reviews are not based on his hunger levels.
My opinion of the film stays, but my enjoyment of the viewing experience.
Yes.
Which some people would say is related to that, but is dependent on whether I've eaten beforehand. And I remember being in the last sort of half an hour of Twisters being like, God, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
But if I'd eaten beforehand, your body's relaxed. You're like, I'm taken care of. We all know we've all been to seen things and we've had a pizza beforehand or something and we're feeling good. So.
I told you this before, but the September 5, which isn't a long film.
Oh, yeah.
A good film. We reviewed it a few months ago. I think that day, because I peed before I went in, but that day I think I was just drinking a lot of water. There was a lot in the cycle of water in my body, whatever that's called. And I literally halfway through, I needed to pee.
Right.
And 10 minutes later, I was like, God, this is really, I am at limit. I you know, when it's taking all my concentration just to hold it and stop me peeing myself. When I knew it was a short film and I was like, all this plot is happening so quickly, I really don't want to miss anything. I bet I can hold it. And when I say that film comes to a close and the characters are speaking to each other, analysing this thing they just did and how profound it was, I'm like, all right, come on.
Yep.
I am literally going to die in the film finished, and I just bolted and exploded into that urinal.
Wow. Oh, well, thank you, James. What an image of that. I think I would have got it.
You know when you go oh! Yes!
What a time to be alive.
Feeling myself deflate.
I think it's the closest you could almost feel to being severed, because you're a different person either side.
Yeah.
The person you are the second before you need to go when you're at capacity and you're like, maybe my entire bottom half is going to rupture.
For that 30 minutes, James had one problem.
Yeah.
I had one problem. Nothing else mattered.
But the James that came out of that bathroom, it's like anything's possible now.
Anything's possible.
I'm a free man.
Where should I go? What should I do?
What can I do with my time?
I give you a hug. I'm like, thank you. No, I was dying. I was like, I'm really going to explode. And you're trying to watch the film, but you're just you're doing your Kegels. You're holding them in. I'm like,
Goodness.
I was okay though. I don't think it's good for you to do that too much.
Or to hold it
for that long time.
No, you should have just gone, really.
Yeah, I think that makes you pee yourself more down the line when you're older.
Do you think you've learnt your lesson? You were like, next time you'll just dart out and come back in? In hindsight, don't you think you should have done that?
Well, yeah, but it was at that awkward time of I know this isn't a long film. I don't know exactly how long I've got. I think I can just hold it.
I don't know how we got down this avenue, but did you not go before you went?
I did. That's the thing I did. But as I said, I think I'd been drinking all day, and there was
and caffeine.
Caffeine probably doesn't help, and I was definitely drinking coffee. And I just think there was already water in the system that needed to be processed. And I broke the seal. Once you break the seal, it's
I don't believe in that. I don't believe that's the thing.
Oh really?
I think
seal
breakage is a psychological.
I've experienced it. Yeah. Can any doctors write in about the seal?
Yeah, is that real? Yeah, I've just always thought
pee when you pee.
Pee when you pee.
Yeah, but I feel once I start and I'm on a night where I'm consuming lots of stuff, I just think it people who hold it versus people who don't. Once you start. I'm not going to hold it in to not break the seal. I think that's dumb.
We don't normally talk about our bladders so much on this podcast. But anyway, welcome to episode 177 of Pulp Kitchen. Last week, we talked about Sinners. If you've seen that or haven't watched that episode yet, go back and do it, because we talked about that movie a bit.
But FYI, we're recording this episode the same day we recorded last week's episode because I'll be in the European continent.
Why are you being so secretive?
I'm in Spain.
Yeah. Why are you saying it like you're a spy?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to Spain for a job. But
yeah, so
if you have written in, we won't get to your email till the following week, unfortunately. But thank you as always for writing in nonetheless.
So this episode is going to be a little bit different, a little bit more of an editorial. We haven't got any emails loaded up either, so it's going to be a bit more brief, but still lots of fun, guys. Not to worry. And we can't even tell you what we did on Double Take this week because we've recorded it.
It literally has not happened.
Yeah. But stay tuned for Double Take this week as ever. We'll be talking about all that news that happened that you have an opinion on.
Oh, wasn't it crazy?
All the news.
You've got to go sign up for that.
This week, James, shall I tell you what we're going to talk about?
Yes, please. Well, I do know. But
well, you do know.
Yeah.
And as will listeners, because it would have been on the title of the episode. But I'll just tell you anyway. Today, James, we're going to be talking about the most expensive movies ever made.
Nice.
Movies with the highest budgets.
Great.
Okay. We've talked about films that have earned the most. We've talked about films that have won awards. But films that have commenced with huge budgets. Now, of course, recently, films like The Electric State got a lot of headlines for being a very expensive movie. I've cross-referenced different lists.
Okay.
And I'm happy with the one. There's a little bit of variability, but I'm happy with the one that I've gone on, which is on Wikipedia.
Did you edit it yourself?
I looked at the footnotes and when they were drawing the information from. And I was like, I'm just going to go with this one.
Thanks, Wikipedia. You get Wikipedia gets a hard rap, but we use it all the time. You're all using it, but you all slag it off.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll slag. Everyone's quick to be like, like anyone can edit it. Well, then stop. Why are you copying and pasting it into your essay?
The bullies at the high school movie that are picking on the nerd, but we simultaneously ask that nerd to do our homework for us.
Exactly. That is what Wikipedia is.
So
I already have ideas. I promise you I didn't look. I have a couple of, I think I know some of these. There's like famous ones that are knocking around.
So the origin of this episode came from a few weeks ago when I was with my other half and friend of the show, Dan, and we were talking about The Electric State.
Yeah.
And talking about that, and then we started talking about the most expensive films of all time, and we pulled it up, and I in the way that you and I do with friends, we go, oh, let me see if everyone can guess.
It's my favorite.
And there were many surprises, and I thought I've got to do this on the show. So just for record, we're going to be talking about the top 10 most expensive films of all time, films with the highest budget. It's not adjusted for inflation. To just remember that it means that older films won't be in it. It's just kind of like a recency thing, and I've just done that for simplicity. So The Electric State, for example, which had a budget of estimated approximately $320 million, is at number 13 in the list.
Wow. So we're talking like, it's in that 300 to 400 range, isn't it?
So we're going to be talking about movies in...
Can I ask, has any film cost $500 million to make? Because I know The Rings of Power has. Yes. No film has crossed 500 million.
So... we're going to be talking about the top 10 most expensive movies of all time.
Oh, okay.
And James, would you like to begin by guessing some?
So, I have a couple of ideas of films which I'm pretty sure are in there, but I think there's one on the edge, which I know is famously expensive. The third Sam Raimi Spider-Man film, also known as Spider-Man 3, is that, I know that was horrendously expensive. There's a reason why they didn't make a fourth. Is that in this list? Am I close?
No. That is number 25.
Oh, okay.
That had a budget of $258 million, which in 2007 was a lot of money.
Yeah.
However, that has been superseded by many other things.
So let's go straight out the gate with Avengers Endgame and Infinity War.
Infinity War is not in the top 10 most expensive movies of all time.
Endgame is.
James, in this top 10, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 Marvel movies.
4 Marvel
but
movies.
Only 4. And one of those is Avengers Endgame at number 7 with a budget of $356 million. I feel like every time I say that, I want to do the Dr. Evil little pinky thing. $1 million.
So the other Marvel ones is we got Age of Ultron in there. That
is at number 6. More expensive than Endgame. Age of Ultron was $365 million.
How's that more expensive than Endgame? I don't really...
So you've got 2 out of the 10 so far.
So let's... so other Marvel... Is Civil War in there?
No.
Is Avengers 1 in there?
No.
So is... In terms of the most expensive Marvel films...
and I'm going to tell you... Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to give you some...
Yeah.
So the Marvel movies that are in this list are at numbers 10, 8, and then 7 and 6 you've got with Endgame and Ultron. Okay, so you need numbers 10 and 8 for the most expensive Marvel movies.
Most expensive Marvel. If we got not Captain America: Civil War, Spider-Man, one of the Spider-Mans.
Not one of the Spider-Mans. Recent Marvel. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to give a big clue. Post Endgame.
Recent Marvels. That's one of the most expensive.
Two of the most expensive movies of all time in the top 10 are from post Endgame.
Am I really missing something? It's not Deadpool and Wolverine.
No, good guess. I think I was surprised that these were as high as they are, and I assume they were high because they were troubled and therefore had to do reshoots.
Captain America 4.
No, that is. I don't think been updated on this list yet. Two recent post-Endgame Marvel movies that we found troubling.
Oh, Ant-Man 3.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is number 10 with a budget of $330 million. And what a waste of money that was.
Doctor Strange 2.
Doctor Strange 2, correct, James, is at number 8. So
the two real sort of...
the reshot, redone, restitched together.
Wow, okay.
As I said before, I prefer Doctor Strange 2 to Ant-Man 3.
Yeah. But even still, I mean, that to me it's quite symptomatic of like sort of the bloated budget in a sort of, you know, like Marvel was so prude and it was sort of untouchable after Endgame that therefore justified putting crazy money into smaller sub-franchises that probably never should have been given that type of money. It doesn't, having that cash injection doesn't make those films better. If anything, it lent it more towards the type of film, like the CG and the style of it that just nobody really found appealing. So it's interesting that those two next to the Avengers projects are sitting there.
I also think it's films like Doctor Strange 2 and Ant-Man 3 that have given... It's what shows like the franchise are based on. When people think about... When people have heard about the stories of people making superhero movies and they don't know, you know, they're aware that another secret movie is being shot without their knowledge and all, you know, the scripts are being replaced. It's like Ant-Man 3, Doctor Strange 2 and the Marvels. That's where the story started to come from about what a complete mess it was. Wow. Apparently.
Okay, so that's 4 of the 10.
That's no more MCU films in there now.
Fine.
So you've got 4 of the 10.
It's not like Batman v Superman knocking around in
Nope.
there. No. Okay, so let's go for... I'm going to go for a Pirates of the Caribbean, either 4 or 3.
Wow. Now this, James, what a shout there. You probably didn't look at this list.
No. I know that... I think both of them were known to be crazy expensive.
Okay, so Pirates of the Caribbean 3 is at number 15, right? Which is tied with Justice League and The Last Jedi, right? And that had a budget of $300 million. Wow. But you're absolutely right, James. For me, the biggest surprise is that at number 5 in this list...
On Stranger Tides?
Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides from 2011 with a budget of $379 million. Now, in 2011, that's a lot of money. $379 million.
That is insane.
So that's more than Avengers Endgame.
I think Johnny Depp's paycheck was a third of that.
But also, like...
Yeah,
no one's talking about the 4th one.
No.
Some people have passing nostalgia for 2 and 3. We all like number 1.
Yeah.
But the 4th one...
And it's like, I know it's a film that does it does huge numbers internationally, but I've not really seen 4... Are there 5?
There are 5, yeah.
I've not seen post 3. And I can't, unfortunately, look at that film and go, oh, I see, like, on location. It must be expensive to shoot ships on the sea. I can't be cheap.
But they're not actually on the water.
They do some stuff on the water.
No, I know it's all on the soundstage.
Yeah.
There's some stuff shot...
It'd be mad to shoot it on the water.
There's some stuff shot in, like, a port.
Yeah.
Like, in the first one. But, like, it would be insane to shoot
it on the sea.
A frigate.
It's like Jaws.
And that was a tiny little boat. I
think it would look brilliant. You think for 300-something million they'd make it happen. God, yeah, I'm sure that Johnny Depp's pay represents a huge portion of that. But yeah, I cannot on the top at a glance go, that's where the money went. Johnny Depp got paid what Robert Downey Jr. got paid in Avengers, give or take. Right. But the Avengers films have like 12 other characters making maybe half or a third of what he made, which would balloon that budget.
It's quite... who signed that off? Let's just
sign it off.
Was it? I don't think.
I reckon just after the 2 and 3, they've gone, look, they probably grossed north of $1 billion, right? Both of those films.
Yes. So to be fair,
here we go.
Its budget, like I said, was 300 and...
Oh yeah, what did it make? Do you have that
It made
information?
1.046 billion.
So yeah, enough
it
to,
made its money back.
enough to sort of go, yeah, that's fine. Checks out. Balanced. Its book was balanced.
A good investment, apparently. So, James, you are 5 down.
Have we got Avatar 2 in there?
Avatar: The Way of the Water is in there, but do you want to tell me where in the list you think it might be?
Is it middle?
No.
Is it 2?
No, it's 9.
9. Wow. Okay.
Avatar: The Way of Water with $350 million was at number 9.
Has that film crossed the $2 billion mark yet? Because I know Avatar took a bit of time. It has. Wow.
Yeah,
that's really made a lot
small
of money.
change compared to what it actually earned in the end. Yeah, very good.
We've got a new one coming this year, by the way.
Yes, I am. I need to watch The Way of the Water. I need to sit myself down. I know you tell me not to, but like,
I think you'll have
they're
a better
going to
experience
keep
than me.
coming.
Yeah.
So I might as well do it. And also, although it seems like a crime to watch a film like that at home, if I'm watching it in the comfort of my home, it might actually be better than the waterboarding you had.
Now I've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll say this for any other film. I'd say I think you'll have less of a taxing experience on your brain and eyes. I actually just watching at home. By all means, like on a nice TV, take some time. But yeah, I actually think you'll get more out of it than I did. I wonder if the high frame rate thing can be. Is that people who know? Can you watch a high frame rate version of Avatar at home? Because I know that the screens can handle the frame rate. I'm wondering, like, is that something that's available for people? Or do you just get the 24 frames per second version? Because my biggest problem with it was switching frame rate in the film. That's what really, really annoyed me.
So your average TV can't show a high frame rate then?
No, the average TV can. It's whether or not they make that version available.
I assume that they would have done because that's what the filmmaker wanted, right?
Ooh,
so like Ang Lee
wouldn't.
with like Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, or whatever.
I would assume that you're not getting dynamic frame rates within a file unless they give it specifically. Most TVs now can do like 120 hertz or at least 60 hertz, and that film will be 48 hertz to you. So it was 48 and 24. That's going to really annoy me.
Nod along. I don't really know what that means, but
it's like the frame rate, frames per second. So
hertz.
Hertz is the refresh rate of the screen.
Right.
So 48 hertz per second is the same as like saying
frames.
frame rate.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Thank you.
But then when we talk about a screen, we'll say like how many hertz does it do?
Okay. I don't know, but
Thanks.
But I will because Avatar movie is going to keep coming, so I'm going to watch it and I'll let you know what I think about
what
it.
you might experience is that even though the frame rate might play out for you at 24 frames a second, remember I've spoken to you before about when you shoot at a higher frame rate, your shutter has to double.
Right.
And so when you shoot action scenes, sometimes you shoot them at a higher shutter and it creates a more like fast, jittery motion. If you don't get the high frame rate, you might notice that some of the scenes which were meant to be shot in high frame rate have a more choppy, jittery look to them because you're not seeing it in that high frame rate. It's getting a bit technical, but I just don't really know, and I actually don't really care. Okay, so
last four.
Jump in
so just to recap, at number 10 we have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yeah.
At number 9, Avatar: The Way of Water. 8, Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. 7, Avengers: Endgame. 6, Avengers: Age of Ultron. And 5, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, which has 379. So the next film at number 4 technically has the same amount as number 5.
I don't know if this is slipped because it's old, but Titanic, is that?
No, not in there.
Not also as expensive.
Let's
go for, I think the big one will be Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
That is in there. Do you want to take a guess at what number it is?
Is it the most, or is it the second?
It is the most.
The most expensive
with
film.
$447 million. But in a way, it's not that surprising when you think this was Disney's relaunch of the entire IP.
What a investment.
What a cash investment. And, $447 million, but it grossed $2.07 billion.
That's
but actually, that's not as much as The Way of Water grossed.
Yeah, which did less.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about Force Awakens is that none of the main cast would have been taking up that budget.
No, it would have been marketing, wouldn't it, surely?
I doubt Daisy Ridley, and obviously it's paid her dividends in the end, but I doubt Daisy Ridley was paid much more than a few $100,000 for that role.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have been paid £1 million for it.
No, not at that point. No.
Isn't that insane though? You were a key part of the most expensive film of all time, and obviously she's an unknown, well not unknown, like mostly unknown gamble. And I'm sure Daisy Ridley's fine.
No, yeah,
but
I
like
mean,
the other films on that list, you go, okay, well, Johnny Depp takes the bag, Robert Downey Jr. and others take the bag. Like
they take a percentage.
And a percentage.
Yeah,
because
remember that's what
Daisy Ridley's not getting a percent of Star Wars.
If I remember correctly, that's what Alec Guinness did. That was really smart.
Merchandise.
With the first Star Wars, he took a 5%, or like.
I thought it was merchandise trading he got.
Really?
George Lucas couldn't afford to pay him, so he said, I'll give you a percentage of merch. And Star Wars merch is like the biggest merch IP ever. And for a really long time, his foundation were getting a percentage of Star Wars merchandise.
Okay, 3 left, James. Numbers 2, 3, and 4. I was surprised at numbers 2 and 4.
Oh, is John Carter in there?
No, but John Carter is 22. That had a budget of $264 million in 2012. One of the worst titled movies there ever were.
Terrible. For that genre of film.
They could have just called it John Carter of Mars. It would have been a little better. Yeah. But just calling it John Carter tells me nothing.
I'm going to say my next theory. We got a Jurassic World sequel in here.
Oh, you've been very good. You've been paying attention to the news more than I have then. So
is it like... Not the most recent one?
No.
So is it Fallen Kingdom?
Correct.
Fallen
Kingdom. And number 2, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom from 2018 with $432 million.
Ow!
How the hell did that movie get to number 2? It's one of the most expensive.
Well, the Jurassic
World
movies,
made
really big money.
At one point, the highest grossing movie of all time. Jurassic World was.
Oh, really?
I think Avengers Ultron... No, it was Ultron.
But it did beat Avatar and Titanic.
It did. It did
really?
Because I remember they would... Oh,
I don't think it did. I think maybe it would have been close on number 3.
No, I'm certain it did. And then Avatar retook it because it got re-released.
Wow.
I'm almost certain that it did.
So, and can you find out for me how much Jurassic World 1 cost? I'd love to know if that was in the 200 million zone. It looks like it would be.
I'm sorry, but no, you're right. I take back what I said about highest grossing film of all time.
Right.
Because it says here it only made 1.3 billion. So,
right, okay, so yeah.
Jurassic World...
Oh, wait, so sorry, so before we want, so Fallen Kingdom cost $432 something.
$432 million.
$432.
And it made 1 point something million.
So that's
billion.
For that, it's a bit close. It's a bit close to the edge. You want to be...
It made triple its budget, which is fine.
Fine.
But like, it's not a runaway. What the hell are we talking about?
The numbers, just silly.
So to answer your question, the Jurassic World is...
I get why they're just jumping into another one with Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey and... Go on. Jurassic World 1.
Jurassic World...
Stand by for the Jurassic World.
It will cost...
How much are you going to pay these policemen?
That's a Diane Abbott reference for those who don't know. So Jurassic World, the first one, is not in my list of most expensive films of all time.
At all, wow. So is it sub 200 or sub 150?
I think it must be sub 200. Yeah, the budget was 150 to 200 million.
Okay. So they basically nearly tripled it. They nearly tripled their budget for the sequel. Well, that's crazy.
Okay, so...
And that's the worst one.
The Fallen Kingdom?
Yeah.
Worse than Dominion?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
I had to think about it.
That is number 2. So...
Dominion's not there.
Dominion is at number 21. Still expensive.
Still expensive.
I'm going to do some of the other ones that aren't in the top 10.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that'd be good to know.
So, James, you're left with numbers 3 and 4. What are the most expensive films of all time?
Is The Rise of Skywalker in there?
You're very good at this, James. You should have a podcast. Number 3 is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Logically, it made sense.
From 2019 with $416 million, which is probably... I mean, just a reminder. So Force Awakens takes the top spot with 447, right? The Last Jedi only had 300 million. And then for Rise of Skywalker, they had 416. That's $116 million more because they were doing remedial work on damage control.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I doubt the budget would have been more for the third one, but that's trying to cobble together that movie. And the fact that what we got is the film that was saved means that there must have been a version of this that was really, really rough.
So that means, James, the last one. Okay, the last one... I am surprised, but then maybe I'm not because maybe I'm underestimating this series of films.
So we've done Pirates, we've done Avatar, and we've done Star Wars. Is there another Star Wars in there?
No,
it's not. We've done Star Wars.
It's a franchise that we haven't mentioned
Marvel. Yet. Is it DC?
No.
Oh, is it? It's not Pixar stuff, is it?
No.
Is it animated?
No.
I'm going to really kick myself.
Run through the franchises, James.
Not Mission Impossible.
No.
Not. Is it Fast? Fast and Furious. Is
Well
it
done.
the Fast X?
It
that
is
the latest?
Fast X, James.
Wow.
Well done. It is at number 4, Fast X, Fast 10 rather, or whatever, from 2023 with $379 million. And do you know what, guys? It was terrible.
Yeah,
go see the review from 2 years ago. Good Lord.
Yeah, you had not really seen. You'd maybe seen a handful of them, maybe a couple. You'd seen 5.
I'd seen 2.
Right.
That was the only one I'd seen.
Is it like Fast and Furious 2?
Yeah.
Oh right, you hadn't seen Fast 5?
No.
Oh, Fast 5's good.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
God, yeah. You really tried to sort of see what people were saying, and you just couldn't get on board with it.
I do accept that trying to jump into that franchise at the 10th installment is perhaps a little late.
Yeah.
And the ship has sailed. So a recap then, guys.
Expensive.
At number 10, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. At number 9, Avatar: The Way of Water. At number 8, Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. At number 7, Avengers: Endgame. Number 6, Avengers: Age of Ultron. At number 5, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. At number 4, Fast X. At number 3, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. At number 2, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. And at number 1, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Wow. Very interesting there. So the reason I wanted to do this is because of things like Pirates of the Caribbean, like Fast X, like Rise of Skywalker and Jurassic World being higher than we would ever anticipate. And the Marvel films being lower down, and the ones that are in there are not the Marvel films we would necessarily expect.
Yes, they are the really big failures. They're an embarrassing inclusion on that, considering their quality. Like the other ones mostly justify themselves. So like Avatar pays for itself. Is Force Awakens the 3rd highest grossing film of all time, or is it 4th?
That's a separate episode.
That's a separate. I think we did it a long time. I think I did it to you a long
highest
time
grossing.
ago. But yes, that's interesting. Can I ask from like the 11 to 20 range, like what other films were just like knocking on the door?
So the one at number 11, which just missed out on being in the top 10, which I think is also very notable because it was also a flop, was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Wow, yeah.
Interesting, which cost $326 million. That cost more than Avengers: Infinity War. Wow. Isn't that insane?
That is insane.
After that, you have, so at number 11, you have Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. At number 12, Infinity War.
Okay.
At number 13, The Electric State, which we mentioned.
Wow.
At number 14, The Marvels. At number 15, it's joint with Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, Justice League and The Last Jedi. At number 18, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
How much?
$291 million.
Okay.
At number 19, Solo, A Star Wars Story. So that is the 4th most expensive Star Wars movie of the recent era.
It doesn't look it.
No, it doesn't. With $271 million.
That looks like, I reckon someone could do that, make it look as good for 120 million. Do you know what I mean? Maybe 150. It's like,
do you? Well, so we know nothing.
I know nothing.
Yeah. But the one that I think is really interesting because it is so recent and we know it has not performed well at all. At number 20 is Snow White. Which has a budget of $269 million, and again, is probably it's the reshoots, it's the remedial work.
Got to dip back in to go back. You got to turn the lights on again. You got to call everyone back, get the cars in. I don't know what costs money.
No, you
got to get the cabs to the studio, right?
The craft services,
craft,
and then a couple more. But tell you what, I'm
flying
at number.
people.
Do you know what the most expensive? I think I'm just looking at this. Yes, James, do you know what the most expensive animated movie of all time is? So this is at number 24 in the list. I've not seen it, but I was like, oh, that technically counts as the most expensive animated
Moana
movie.
2?
No.
Most expensive animated movie. Is it Pixar? Or is it
No,
DreamWorks?
not Pixar. I think it's DreamWorks. Yeah.
Is it a Shrek film?
No.
Is it... no, go on, what is it?
It's 2010's Tangled. What? The Rapunzel movie, right? You know Tangled?
Yeah.
With $260 million. Isn't that crazy?
Where does it go? Where does it go?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard that's quite a good movie, but to be the 24th most expensive movie of all time and therefore the most expensive animated movie of all time.
Wow. Was that really successful? I know Frozen obviously.
I think it was. Well, let's have a look, James. It's...
Oh, go on.
Only just $260 million budget, 592.5 million.
Just to be clear, when we read this out, the logic is from what we've heard.
Yes.
A movie needs to make sort of 3 to 4 times its budget to be warranted success.
Three times, I think.
And that number is like, depending on
it used to be
all sorts of
double,
things.
didn't it? And now it's like, I think it's triple.
So when we're saying it made 2 something and it only made 5 something, you'd think, oh, well, there's 250 million pounds cash profit. That's not apparently how it works.
Anyway, and there are many more on the list as well. Captain America: Civil War is not like it's number 42,
Right.
and then it kind of like a pyramid. It kind of the base widens, and there's more and more films being made for like $225 million.
But you look at that list and you go, hey, I get why they like these franchises. They look at the list and they go, what are people going to see? Franchises? Can we make a new franchise? Can we bring back a franchise? It's no Terminator films knocking around there. I would imagine that franchise screams to me over budget, underperform.
Yes.
Do you know, I would be surprised.
They definitely underperformed. But yeah, I mean,
like Terminator Genesis was knocking at 300 million.
Also, a lot of the films that we associate with being flops are flops because they had massive budgets.
Yes.
So, for example, I'm looking at this list: Battleship, Oz the Great and Powerful, The Lone Ranger,
Jupiter Ascending.
I don't know if that's in here, but
No,
yes.
It was a flop. How much did The Matrix Resurrections cost? Did I remember that had a really overblown budget?
The fourth one. Not in this list.
There you go.
So,
Maybe not that big.
And I'm just wanting to hold the phone, please. So, and again, it's interesting. If you were to adjust it for inflation, it's a slightly different conversation. The top 10 is basically the same, but Spider-Man 3 is at number 10.
Oh, interesting.
Titanic is at number 9. Tangled goes up to number 16. But then you have things like Waterworld at 19. You have Peter Jackson's King Kong at 26. You have 1963's Cleopatra at 36.
Nice.
And
that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3 was in my mind as like more of a dark horse one that people don't think about.
But the most expensive back-to-back film productions is the Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, because it's back-to-back. And then you have the Hobbits, then you have the 2 and 3 Pirates of the Caribbean, then you have Mockingjay 1 and 2, Lord of the Rings trilogy, just all straight through.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, Matrix, Twilight.
But like, almost the sort of you make when you do this back to backs, it's like, yes, you've got a huge budget, but you've got 3 products out of it, or 2 films out of it, or 3 films out of it. It's like, yes, the event game in Infinity War thing, the event game Infinity War thing is huge, but they got 2 high performing assets out of it. So if you split it, if it costs 600 million or something, you've got it's kind of justified. Makes sense. I wonder how they're costing up the next 2. And how restrained they've had to be. Once all said and done, what the numbers will be for that budget once it's all come out.
And it's worth saying, obviously, that numbers, with a slight pinch of salt, please take them.
Yeah, because they're always confused about how much like marketing has gone into that.
Also, studios don't really want to reveal how much a movie costs, because especially if it's been if it's spiraled. Like, for example, we had heard rumors that the most recent Captain America had really skyrocketed, but it takes almost years to verify the truth behind this.
The invoices to get
the invoices, the accounting,
the tax bill to come out.
So give it a few years. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if Doomsday becomes the most expensive film made. Do you think?
It must.
Because of the remedial work they need to do. Not that if the film needs reshoots, but it's like they've probably had to made changes closer to filming than they had anticipated with things like the Kang thing.
Yeah. And like it's filming now, like all the stuff that's been going on recently, and the failures and successes have had to have adjusted to this film.
And also the talent are more expensive now.
Yeah,
like Chris Hemsworth costs more now.
Like, you want to get me for this?
And Robert Downey Jr. has.
And they'll want percentages.
Yeah.
They'll want everything. And like I bet Ian McKellen, even if he's just turning up for a little scene, he'll want. I want at least a few million.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope they are giving McKellen a good.
And just in general, people will go, Marvel. Oh, what? The most successful film of all time. Oh, the rate's actually this?
Yeah.
If you want to do it, they know they've got the money.
Yeah.
So it must be really hard to go, no. Screw you. I know how much this costs. You have to have some really sharp cohorts.
While we're talking about this, I saw a video from a friend of the show, the movie dweeb, Dan Merrifield, who I believe it was him who was at the premiere for Sinners. And he was talking to Michael B. Jordan, and Michael B. Jordan said, "It's great to be here in London. I love it. I'm actually shooting a movie here at the moment, like this." And he was like, "Shooting a movie here in London at the moment? That's interesting because I don't see that on your IMDb, unless, of course, you're in Avengers: Doomsday as Johnny Storm, right?" Yeah. Do you get that? Because he was in Fan Four Stick. Yeah. So it might be a outside
Do you think you get
guess.
a Fan Four Stick redemption?
I think we could do. I don't think we would. With this.
Well, he is Killmonger. Did Killmonger die? Yeah.
Killmonger did die. So also yes, that was the other thing. So I was saying he could be Killmonger.
It'd be cool if he was
Johnny Storm. But they did the Johnny Storm thing in Deadpool Wolverine. So I don't think you do that again.
I think it's like, it can't be more than a cameo if he's in it.
Why?
It would be nice to redeem.
But why would you bring in? You've only just reintroduced the new Fantastic Four. Why would you bring in the old one?
The more you think about it, it doesn't make any sense.
But Killmonger maybe.
Could be a Killmonger thing.
Yeah. That I can see.
Yeah.
Because maybe in this version, Killmonger's the hero and Tony Stark is the villain. You know what I mean?
Like, they're creating the anti-versions of themselves.
Or Killmonger actually killed T'Challa.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, guys, that was a little different today, but I hope you don't mind us running through that. I thought it was interesting.
It's good to know.
Basically, movies cost a lot of money.
The franchises aren't going anywhere.
They are not.
They need to consolidate and make safe bets by actually betting quite a lot of money. The irony of the safe bet being a huge gamble.
I feel like this is the kind of conversation we have more on Double Take about the industry and budgets and the future and the franchises and that kind of gist.
Go. Yeah.
And that's not just me just soft mentioning Double Take again, so you guys.
Which is a fantastic Patreon exclusive news show.
Some people prefer.
The new word on the street is they prefer.
Excellent. We also have, because we're recording this ahead of time, we don't have any emails immediately to our reach to read out, but we do, of course, have a game.
George, as always, Pulp Kitchen ends
with a game.
George, I've been really enjoying doing these this or that compares versus films. We've done A24 films.
Yes.
I recently did for you all of the best picture winners from the 21st century. And I quite enjoy what ends up leading the pack and then being superseded. Today, George, we are doing Pixar films.
Oh.
I'm going to read you Pixar films, and you have to tell me which one you prefer. And by the end, hopefully, although we're not comparing each one with each individual one, I should have a good idea of what your favorite Pixar film is.
And you've not scrambled these.
And I've not scrambled these.
Okay.
So we're going to go through. Please, as always, play along at home. Which Pixar film do you prefer? Toy Story or A Bug's Life?
Toy Story.
Toy Story or Toy Story 2?
Toy Story 2.
Toy Story 2 or Monsters, Inc.?
Oh. Toy Story 2?
Toy Story 2 or Finding Nemo?
Oh. This is so cruel. Toy Story 2, I think.
Toy Story 2 or The Incredibles?
Oh, what a run they had. Isn't this incredible?
They're both really good, aren't they?
Just purely on the fact that I've rewatched Toy Story 2 more recently, it's going to be Toy Story 2.
Toy Story 2 or Cars?
I've not seen Cars.
Toy Story 2 or Ratatouille?
Like Ratatouille, it's Toy Story 2.
Toy Story 2 or Wall-E?
Ooh. In the interest of changing it up and respecting the fact that Wall-E is about a greater, really taps into like a greater philosophical existential debate about the human race, I'm going to say Wall-E.
Wall-E or Up?
Up.
Up or Toy Story 3?
Oh.
What a run, though.
Oh.
There's some really good films knocking around.
Up or Toy Story 3? I think for the sheer power and brilliance with the way that they tied that story up, it has to be Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Cars 2?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Brave?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Monsters University?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Inside Out?
Toy Story 3.
Oh, Toy Story 3 or The Good Dinosaur?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Finding Dory?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Cars 3?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Coco?
Coco's got a great, is great and has a great ending, but I do think Toy Story 3 is basically almost perfect.
Toy Story 3 or Incredibles 2?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Toy Story 4?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 4 is, not that that's even up for debate. Yeah. It is Toy Story 3.
It's Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 or Onward?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Soul?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Luca?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Turning Red?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Lightyear?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Elemental?
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 or Inside Out 2.
I'm hearing like an echo in my head. All I hear is Toy Story 3. I liked Inside Out 2, but Toy Story 3, Toy Story 3.
God, can we just acknowledge the run that Pixar went on? I mean, I don't know when I want to start it, but you can go, I would say their run from...
I'd say from Toy Story 1 through.
But I think in particular from Ratatouille in 2007 to WALL-E to Up
WALL-E.
to Toy Story 3.
Why do you say WALL-E? You
WALL-E.
say WALL-E.
WALL-E.
Like WALL-E, like his name's WALL-E, but it's just spelled like
WALL-E.
he's
WALL-E.
not Wall. I know it's written WALL-E.
WALL-E.
But
What a
no,
run.
I think the run it goes long with it. If you go,
I
from
agree, yeah.
Toy Story 2, because some people I don't know I feel like Bugs
Finding
Life
Nemo,
is the
the-
forgotten Pixar
Very
film,
much so,
right? Even
yeah.
though I watched it a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I would say from Toy Story 1, but even if you went from Toy Story 2, that run until Toy Story...
Finding Nemo,
I think
The
to Toy Story
Incredibles,
3.
Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up, Toy Story 3.
That's pretty good.
That's right.
I've
And
not
then,
seen Cars, but I know it's very popular on
Cars
TikTok.
Cars 1 was good. I've not seen 2 or 3.
Nah.
Cars, I just associate with Fisher-Price babies watching on Fisher-Price tablets.
Right.
You know those plasticky
yes.
ones with the handles
Yeah.
that you buy in like Toys R Us. I don't know if you do that anymore. But I just associate. I always see that film playing and some poor parents just plopping in front of a kid. That kid just being mesmerised by cars with faces on them. It's like there's something there that just kids just fucking love it. And then I'd say actually Toy Story 4 we're both like on. Onward, I thought was actually quite good. Soul,
Soul.
Luca, it's all right. Turning Red, I've not seen. Lightyear, I've not seen. Elemental is kind of good, but it doesn't touch the ones that we were just listing before. And then Inside Out 2 we really liked, but again, it's not. I don't hold it as high as I do those early ones, man.
I liked it. I mean, in many ways, I think it's the best of. Actually, I think Inside Out 2 is the best.
Of the
recent Pixar films. Before that, Inside Out 2, working back, what's the last good? Probably Coco.
So I think probably Inside Out 2 it goes Elemental, Lightyear, Turning Red, Luca, Soul. Onward was good. It's much better in the second half. Then Toy Story 4. Then Incredibles 2 I really like, but I think is like a bit underappreciated. Then Coco.
I think Coco. I think Inside Out 2 is the best movie since Coco.
Yeah.
Toy Story 4 is fine. It's a victory lap, but it just doesn't need to be there.
It's spare.
We're getting a fifth one, James.
I know. So I was just going to move on to what we've got coming up.
Oh God, here we go.
Right. Well, no, I mean, you don't have to compare.
No, I mean just no. I mean just like
just vibes.
I'm just waiting for the inevitable sequel machine to.
So we've got Elio coming June this year,
right?
Which is a spin-off of.
No, I think it's its own thing. Yeah.
Okay. Hoppers, which is coming March 6th, 2026. I don't know anything about this. Directed by Daniel Chong, who's the director stuff on Cartoon Network. We'll find out. Toy Story 5 coming June 19th, 2026. Actually, by the way, we did that episode talking about how crazy 2026 was going to be, and some stuff has moved. I look forward to at the end of the year just checking on 2026. I sort of check the pulse and be like, is this all still going to happen? Because surely it can't. So Toy Story 5, June 2026. I mean, summer. Peak summer school holidays.
Yeah.
And then Coco 2, 2029. Which I'm a bit like, really? Coco's getting a Coco 2?
We don't need Coco 2. I was happy to do Coco 1.
It's not a film that screams sequel to me.
I don't want more Happy Sad Death,
It's weird.
And that'll be coming out, 11 years after the...
2029, And then, of course, there's always seems to be one. Just, it's TBA. It's got no attached talent, no thing. Incredibles 3.
Yes, because it's been announced. But that's it. You're right.
It's like they left so long for Incredibles 2. I'm just like, you're just trying to make one for each generation.
Yeah.
I mean, I would happily take an Incredibles. I'm not gonna think about it for 7 years. Sorry, I don't know why you announced that way too soon. You're gonna have people constantly asking, when's Incredibles 3 coming out? Versus if you hadn't said anything, people might just leave you alone.
Yeah.
Some people would ask, but I'm like, why announce it? What benefit is there to having that announcement? So many things will change by the time you get to the 2030s that you might why commit to an Incredibles 3? That just annoys me. But anyway, nice to know about so your main ones, just quickly, for the ones that you really held on to in that list, was Toy Story 3.
Yes.
You sort of really thought about Coco.
But what are the ones I yesed through? It was Toy Story 1.
Toy Story 1.
2. Then I went Toy Story 1, and then it was Toy Story 2, and then I was Up.
Oh, it was
I changed it WALL-E.
You changed it WALL-E. Then next was Up. Then it was Toy Story 3 till the end. Yeah.
But Toy Story 2 is great. Like it is
so
really good.
It's really damn good.
It's Stinky Pete. It's you know, the She Loved Me When She Loved Me. The whole thing with Jesse.
the airports
Brilliant.
with the bag.
The
I just think it's
airports,
so
yeah.
imaginative. And
Buzz, my butt's
when
going to
they're-
Baton Rouge.
when they're chasing the plane down,
Yeah.
like, you kidding? Ride like the wind, bullseye.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Ah,
Just amazing.
Woody's Roundup. He's the very best. He's
Al's Toy Barn as well.
Yeah,
So
Al's Toy
good.
Barn.
Oh, yeah, like Zurg.
Oh.
The shop, all the Buzz Lightyears there.
I did it! I finally defeated Zurg!
Yeah.
Oh, what a series.
And that opening, the action scene, it's actually
Yes.
him playing the game. That was really
Yeah.
cool. Really, really good.
Oh, love it.
Fantastic. Well, there you go, guys. That
brilliant.
was our episode of Pulp Kitchen for you today. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget we post new episodes of this podcast every single Wednesday.
And please continue to follow us on Instagram and TikTok and the socials, because we post things that we don't get to do on the show, like film bites with talent and lots of wonderful people giving their opinions about films and events we go to, junkets that
Just
people
did one
speak
with
to.
Paul Feig.
Yeah,
director
I
of
don't
Bridesmaids.
know if that'll be out by this.
Oh, it's not out yet.
No.
Spoilers. We've got one coming.
We've got one coming soon with Paul Feig
Yep.
from who talked about Another Simple Favor, which I wasn't going to review on the show unless people explicitly email in and they say they want to know about the belated sequel to the 2018 movie Simple Favor with Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively.
Before we go, George, in honor of today's episode and how great Wikipedia is, shout out to Wikipedia, can you now tell me what the highest grossing Pixar films are?
Oh, how many have I got to do?
Well,
the top one?
Let's just do the top five.
Top five, okay.
So top five highest grossing Pixar films. I'd say one of these, actually, I'd say two of these are a big surprise to me.
All right, tee it up for me like it's a game.
Okay, George,
Yes.
can you guess what are the highest grossing Pixar movies of all time?
Toy Story 3,
Is number 4,
Inside Out 2.
number 1. That's at 1.6 billion.
That's the highest grossing. Wow.
That's great, and that's recent.
Inside Out 1.
Not on this list.
Coco.
No,
Should I err towards more recent ones because it's
not necessarily, no.
So Toy Story 3 is 4, right? You said Incredibles 2.
It's 2.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, of course they're gonna make a third one.
billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding Dory.
Is 5, which really surprises me.
Yeah.
That made just a 1.028 billion.
And then therefore, do I want to reach further back in time? No. Do I?
It's
Hang on, I'm just thinking. Cars 2?
No.
Cars 3?
no,
Cars.
no.
Wait, don't tell me. Is it from the golden run of Pixar?
No.
So it's from the 2010s.
Yes, we just slagged it off a bit.
Toy Story 4.
Yeah,
obviously.
Toy Story 4 is more than Toy Story 3. They basically made the same amount, but Toy Story 4 made a bit more.
I mean, now I understand
Now I
why they're making the
understand.
sequels all the time.
So Finding Dory was number 5, which is actually quite surprising to me because I just don't really like Finding Dory. People don't talk about Finding Dory really.
No, but at the time, obviously, everyone loved Finding Nemo.
Of course, yeah. And Finding Nemo is the 6th.
Wow.
So makes sense. So it's Finding Dory, Toy Story 3, Toy Story 4, Incredibles 2, Inside Out 2. After Finding Nemo is Inside Out, then it goes Coco, Monsters University, Up, The Incredibles, Ratatouille, kind of performing there. Ratatouille made more than Cars 2 and Cars 3 and Cars. Not combined. But I wouldn't have thought that Ratatouille made more than Cars.
I would have thought Cars, as you say, it's just because it's just so like universal for all children. It's just by default gets a lot.
And the lowest grossing,
Oh,
can you guess?
the lowest grossing Pixar film. Is it A Bug's Life? No. Okay. Is it Soul because of COVID?
Soul is the 3rd lowest grossing.
Is it Onward?
That's the 4th lowest grossing.
Elemental.
Elemental's like,
Oh, okay.
like 10th lowest grossing.
It came out in the last 10 years?
Yes, came out in this decade.
Oh, so it's not The Good Dinosaur.
That's the 6th lowest grossing.
Is it Luca?
That's the 2nd lowest grossing.
Good lord. Is it Turning Red?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Turning Red. Made $21 million.
That's
really low.
That is really low. That's not a bad movie.
Budget
Turning
of
Red.
175 million.
But I felt like that just went straight to Disney Plus. I have a feeling that went straight to Disney Plus.
Maybe it's a box office thing then, because box office wise, it didn't.
because this is
do
all the
well.
COVID kind of.
Could be it's a weird COVID
Turning
ones.
Red's not a bad movie.
Yeah,
Not a bad movie.
I thought in spirit I would get you.
Yeah,
I would
too
engage
right.
you on that. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, that was episode 177 of Pulp Kitchen. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for next week, and thank you as ever to our producers Finn and Dave.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye bye.